If this scenario plays out and the Americans get out in totality and Al-Qaeda resurges and Iraq goes to hell, do you hold the right in your mind as American president to reinvade, to go back into Iraq to stabilize it?
You know, Tim, you ask a lot of hypotheticals, and I believe that
this is reality.
Well, it isn't reality. You're making lots of different hypothetical assessments. I believe that it is in America's interests and in the interests of the Iraqis for us to have an orderly withdrawal.
I always reserve the right for the president, as commander-in-chief, I will always reserve the right to make sure that we are looking out for American interests. And if Al-Qaeda is forming a base in Iraq, then we will have to act in a way that secures the American homeland and our interests abroad. So that is true, I think, not just in Iraq, but that's true in other places. That's part of my argument with respect to Pakistan. I think we should always cooperate with our allies and sovereign nations in making sure that we are rooting out terrorist organizations. But if they are planning attacks on Americans like what happened in 9/11, it is my job, it will be my job as president, to make sure that we are hunting them down.
The job which we should have done, which should have been our primary focus, to find, bin Laden.
Mr. bin Laden used to live in Sudan. He was expelled from Saudi Arabia in 91 and he went to Sudan. And we did it. They released him. At the time, 96, he had committed no crime against America, so I did not bring him here because we had no basis on which to hold him. Though we knew he wanted to commit crimes against America. I did not bring him here, though we knew he wanted to commit crimes against America.
Secretary of State Madeleine Albright said, well, if we bomb Afghanistan now, it's not a good time to bomb Muslims. It'll essentially blow up the Middle East peace process and doom any chances President Clinton has of winning the Nobel Prize for Peace.
I was delighted when Jimmy Carter won the Nobel Peace Prize because I thought he earned it, and I thought it was great because he got it as much for what he did after office as when he was in office.
Bill Clinton is still campaigning for the Nobel Peace Prize.
I remember exactly what happened. Bruce Lindsay said to me on the phone, "We'll guide a second plane is at the tower." And I said, "Bin Laden did this." That's the first thing I said. He said, "How can you be sure?" I said, "Because only Bin Laden and the Iranians could set up a network to do this. And they wouldn't do it because they have a country and targets. Bin Laden did."
Did you also think at the same time we came pretty close to getting them?
Yeah. I thought that my virtual recession was well placed, and I was full of regret that I ever did it. I mean, I immediately thought that he had done it. I always ask the same question for 8 years. Can we kill him tomorrow?
Bin Laden is alive today because Mr. Clinton, Mr. Sandy Berger, and Mr. Richard Clarke refused to kill him. That's the bottom line.
Fool me twice. Shame on me. Hillary's commander-in-chief problem. It isn't that they can't see the solution. It is that they can't see the problem.